welcome. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
My name's Andrea.
I'm Khadijah. Nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you as well. So, Khadijah, how are you doing? How are you today?
I'm doing okay. I feel really stressed out and anxious right now. I am an undeclared major and I just don't know what career path to take, and I'm just not interested in anything that I'm doing or any of my classes right now.
Okay, well, what classes are you taking right now? Which ones are not really of interest to you?
I'm taking a lot of engineering classes and classes that are related to that, so more of like the math classes and things like that.
And you find yourself struggling with those?
Yeah, I mean, I'm good at it, and like I'm making good grades in them, but I just don't like it. I don't feel like some concepts I'm not understanding in terms of like engineering,
Right.
and then others I'm finding that it's just totally over my head, and some of them they're just not interesting at all to me.
Okay, so you mentioned about the fact that you're taking a lot of, sounds like pre-engineering classes, right? Those intro engineering courses.
Yeah.
Is engineering, so that's not really something that you're interested in going into?
Well, my family is really pushing me to go into it, and I come from a family of engineers, so they kind of really wanted me to try and go into it, and they knew that I was like good at math courses like through high school and everything like that.
Right.
So they just are pushing me to do it, and I feel like I don't want to, but I would disappoint them if I didn't follow what they wanted me to do, and especially since they're paying for college.
Right. So let me just make sure I'm understanding you correctly. So you're in a bunch of like pre-engineering courses, a lot of those math concentrating classes, and you're not necessarily doing poorly in them. You are doing well, but it's just not of interest to you, and engineering seems to be something that the family is kind of pushing you in the direction towards.
Yeah, and I just like don't know what to do because a lot of my friends are in my classes and they seem to love it and they're so into it that it just makes me feel really isolated and feel stupid to say that it's not what I'm into or that what I like, because
Right.
then I feel like I'm going to lose connections with them, or that it just seems like I'd rather just keep going with it and just to please everyone rather than go down a path that like I don't know about.
Right. I guess our next kind of step that we can kind of move together would be what type of interests do you have? What type of things interest you, whether it be in your free time, academically, to kind of figure out a direction that you can start looking into as far as choosing a major?
I really like chemistry and I really like the sciences and stuff like that. And I know you can use a lot of math in that, so I know that I can apply like the skills that I have with math, but that seems to be something that like I like to do in my free time and like do like research and stuff.
Okay. So that's definitely, maybe if that's something that's of interest to you, that could be maybe a starting point. So what types of things do you think we could do, or we can start to put together that we can start researching and seeing if that's really something that you'd be interested in switching a major to, a type of science or different things like that?
Like, I don't even know how hard it is to switch a major, or I'm a sophomore, so I don't know how late you can do this, or how many different classes I would need to take,
Right.
or like if there's any clubs or anything like that. Like I don't know anything about it.
Okay. Well, I think the first thing that we can do, we can kind of make some action items, different things that we can do for the next time we meet to start researching these things. The first thing we can do, I think, is definitely look into those other majors, see what those course requirements are, and kind of see, because it seems like maybe a fear or a worry of yours would be that you kind of have already taken some classes and you don't know how those will kind of transfer into your new major. Does that seem?
Yeah, that's definitely accurate, because I also don't want to take any more classes than I need to, or have to repeat other classes, because I do want to graduate in the 4 years.
Yeah, definitely. And I can completely understand that as being a concern of yours, especially when it comes monetarily to have to add an additional year or something like that. So I definitely understand that you want to try to do it in that 4-year period. So like I think that again something that we can do is definitely kind of go on the website, see those different majors that you might be interested in, those sciences, see what those course requirements are, print out those sheets with all of the courses. And I think one of the best things you could do is talk to a faculty member in that department that maybe you're interested in going into. Just sitting down with them, talking about what it is that you can learn from them about the department, kind of find out more about the courses that you have to take, and kind of see where the courses you've already taken and how they can kind of transfer and translate into that new major. Does that seem like something that you can see yourself kind of going about doing and starting on that road to finding the major?
Yeah, definitely. I think that would be really helpful because I'm only coming from experience from like with my family and knowing like what they do and knowing the ins and outs of that
Yeah.
I haven't really explored anything else. So to find out new things and know what like other people do would be really, really helpful for me.
Yeah, and there's a lot of other things you could do before you even go that route. I mean, you could even just reach out to faculty, reach out to maybe some friends, parents of friends that maybe are in some type of science field, and just maybe pick their brain and ask them some questions about what it is that they do, what kind of work they do, to see if a science related field would even be something that would be of interest to you.
I think that sounds really good, but I'm still really worried about like making new friends and stuff like that because, like I said, all of my friends are like in the engineering classes, and so like, is there any like clubs or anything that I can do because that would like help me too?
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of, there's a whole website that's dedicated just to the clubs and organizations that the university offers. So I think that really would be a great way not only to meet people in those science fields or in that field that you want to go into or that major, but I think that would also be a really good way to help you see if that new major, that science field is something that would be of interest to you, because you'll be having, science related discussion boards and meetings based upon those topics. So not only will I think that really help you jump into that major and get an idea of what it's about, I think that doing that will also help you meet some people that are in those majors.
Do you have any papers or anything like that like I can show my family? Because like I said, that's like a really big concern of mine. So like to have like background information or anything like that would definitely like help my case to be able to explain it to them and and do that.
Definitely. Like I said, we could definitely print out some of the majors. We could really kind of hone in on which specific majors may be of interest to you. Then we can go to those department websites, and they have right on those websites their course requirements, so the different courses that they have to take. Also on the website you could see all of the different courses that you'll have to take. There's course descriptions. So we could really almost build a case and get all that information together for you and really go through it so we know exactly what it is, so it's not like you're just jumping from one ship to the other, you know what I'm saying? You really have that information with you. So yeah, there's definitely plenty of stuff that we could get together and kind of sit down and look through to really have you understand what that major is, and so you can better explain it to your family. Absolutely.
That's awesome. That definitely makes me feel a lot better because that I don't have to like choose immediately, but that gives me a lot of different options, and that science just seems to be like an option that has a lot of possibilities. Mm-hmm. So that being able to use resources like faculty would help me like distinguish what I want to do.
And I can definitely get you into contact with some of that faculty, so you're not completely alone in that. I'll definitely be able to assist you in that way.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And I know you had mentioned that you were a little concerned about the aspect of a lot of your friends. They seem to really be happy with their major choice, and it's kind of making you feel a little bit, uncomfortable and just not able to reach out to them because they don't really understand what you're going through. Is there anything else you want to talk about as far as that's concerned?
Yeah, I mean, it's just hard because I think when you see everyone else that's around you and they're so happy and they're solidified in like their decisions and they know everything that you're doing, it just makes me feel out of control and makes me feel like I need to not say anything because I don't want them to make it look like I'm far behind them or anything like that. So that it's been difficult of a transition because they're so invested and so interested in it that I just feel like I need to fake it and pretend like I'm so happy too when I'm not, and it makes me feel like alone, that like no one understands what I'm going through.
And I can completely understand that. It can be really hard, especially because they all are they seem to be on a path that they're genuinely interested and really like, whereas you maybe need to kind of figure out what direction that you want to go into. But I definitely